and welcome to S.Chablis for this new session of Q&A. I hope you had a wonderful weekend in Chablis. It was so chilly, so I hope you stayed warm in the comfort of your home. Let's start straight away with the selected question for this week from Sylvain in Reims. Does smoking have an impact on the way you taste wine? That's a very good question. To answer that question, I'm going to make it easy and we're going to simply try both tasting without smoking and tasting with smoking. Just keep in mind, I'm a non-smoker. I'm not going to judge. I mean, if you do smoke, you do smoke. That's the way it is. If you don't smoke, good on you. That's probably better for your health. So, as you've probably noticed behind me, I've laid out a glass and poured myself a glass of wine. Here's what it is at this time of the day. Let's first try this wine and then try this wine with smoking. Beautiful smell, pretty exuberant. I mean, for a Chablis that's really up there on the charm version of Chablis. That's 3D, pretty dense, pretty powerful. I mean, you've got pear, you've got ripe apples. I mean, very, very nice, very nice. Oh wow, yeah, that's what I do when I taste. Mouth follows the same route. You're going to have this density, this complexity, and then you come back to the origins, you come back to Chablis with this burst of freshness, this freshness that basically grips your tongue at the end. So you are in Chablis. Beautiful wine, really beautiful wine. Let me put that back, and now let's do the test in another setting. Well, you probably noticed by looking at my head that I'm not really fond of smoking, and that's the only reason why I don't smoke, is I don't like the taste. So that's very easy for me not to smoke. But again, keep in mind, first tasting without a cigarette, second tasting having smoked a cigarette. If you remember, I told you the first tasting was about exuberance, a wine that was quite powerful, and now even if I know the wine, I've just tasted it, I can't really feel anything. Obviously, I do feel tiny bits coming through, fruitiness, but I won't be as precise as I was on the first tasting. And that's basically the same thing on the mouth. I know the wine, I can notice the texture, but the flavors are not there anymore. Or if they are there, they're kind of muted. That's a shame. That's a shame, really. Now, the worst thing about that part of the tasting is just basically when you breathe through your nose. And all you can smell is not the wine, it's really the smoke of a cigarette. And to me, again, as a non-smoker, that's weird. And I don't get as much pleasure now as I actually had earlier. Now, to be perfectly honest, I've asked wine growers, because some wine growers smoke, of course, some winemakers smoke, of course, and I've asked them what they feel, and it seems that what they actually do, what they manage to do, is get rid of the flavors coming from the cigarette. They kind of level up their tasting to a new level where they manage to forget about the cigarette and have access to just the wine. So that's the way it works with professionals. Now, from what I understand too, is that when they stop or when they quit smoking, they really have access to a new layer of flavors and aromatics. So does it have an impact? For me, yes. For professionals, it seems it also has, but they manage to actually get rid of it somehow, which is good because they're the ones making the wines. Nonetheless, I would actually recommend non-smoking when tasting. Maybe next time we'll talk about spirits, or maybe we'll talk about cigars, and that's probably another universe all in all. But cigarettes and wine tasting, not my thing. I hope that answers your question. If you've got something else in your mind you want to know about, send the question over by next week. If you've got other tests you want me to do, experiences, just describe them to me and I'll see if I can do that for you. Follow S.Chablis on Twitter, on Facebook and on the YouTube channel if you don't want to miss any video. You can also find all that on the website. I'll see you next week. I hope you're going to have a wonderful time. Bye next weekend. Keep on tasting. Bye bye.